Guys, very good evening. Once again, welcome back to the session. This is your mentor Kabilan. So in this session, we'll be seeing the topic right from the basics, percentage, lesson one. Okay. So one important and really inevitable topic when it comes to quantitative ability. So we need to have a sound knowledge with the basics of percentage. So that's the main intention for today's session. So with that positive note, let's quickly get on to the session. Before getting into it, let me quickly introduce about myself. My name is Kabilan. I'm a mechanical engineer with 3 years of teaching experience in the field of management exams, and I've helped various aspirants to clear their, management exams entrance, and also converted various Indian Institute of Management. So if you like my session and videos, kindly you can also follow me on the Unacademy Learning app. This is my user ID, and you can personally have any queries or clarifications. You can contact me on the Telegram channel. This is my Telegram channel, Unacademy_Kabilan. So you can join that and feel free to ask your queries and clarifications, right? And most importantly, don't forget to join us on YouTube, Unacademy CAT4MBA, and also on our Telegram channel. Talking about the subscription part, you can use my discount code KAPI10 to get absolute 10% off. So that for 1 year it's going to be 15,750, and for 2 years it is 18,900. Here we have the weekly scholarship test happening every week, so we can take it live to compete with the best actually, and it's going to be super fast and fun, where you can literally check yourself where you stand in the All India Live leaderboard after attending it. Okay, so the questions will be curated by the experts, and after completing these questions, you can literally identify and improve your weak areas where your scores gets a bit dull. And we'll be providing you a detailed video solution as well. So the next scholarship test, it's going to happen on 21st of March exactly at 12 p.m. You can register now for free just by using my unlock code KAPI10. Right? And here we have the iconic batch CAT 2021. So what makes it different from the normal plus batch is that you'll be getting all the benefits of plus. Along with that, you'll be put up with a personal mentor who will be guiding you 24/7 throughout your preparation process. And the mentor will be a graduate from the top B schools. A proper test analysis will be made, proper reports and feedbacks. We'll be concentrating on other management entrance tests as well. Okay, so completely throughout your preparation process, that is with your exams, GDPI, everything all put together, proper guidance will be provided when it comes to the iconic batch. And there's one beautiful option called Ask a Doubt in our learning app, Unacademy Learning app. You can simply click on it if you have any doubts, between the process of your preparation. Just take a picture of it, of the specific question, crop it down to the specific question, and don't forget to mention under which topic the question falls, under which subject it falls under, right? After doing so, send it to us. You will receive the solution very soon, right? So here we have the Unacademy learners who cracked CAT 2020 flying colors, 99 percentiles. And if you aspire to be one for the next year, you can enroll in our batches, which are kickstarting on the 17th, 18th, and 20th of March, right? So for 17th, it's going to be complete weekday batch CAT. 18th is an expert batch for IPMAT 2021. And 20th, it's going to be the legend batch 2.0 for CAT 2021. Okay, so these are the batches respectively, and the price hike is happening soon, as I told you already. So if you're really interested, and if you want to get the subscription, this is for the plus, and this is for the iconic tariff. If you're really willing to take up the plus or iconic subscription as of now, you'll be made with the before tariffs. But after once price hike happens, you'll be strictly applicable to the after tariffs. So definitely it's going to be the perfect time you can take up the subscription for your financially beneficial side, right? So yes, with that short brief intro, let's get into the percentage concept for today. So as we know already, percentage, we used to denote it with the symbol like this way, which means what? So exactly means 1 by 100, right? 1 by 100, that is what it means. And most importantly, when it comes to percentage happens to be the root topic for the rest of the other topics, like topics in arithmetic like simple and compound interest, profit and loss, ratios and partnerships, whatever other topics you have. For all the other topics, mixtures and aggregations, for all the other topics in arithmetic, definitely percentage happens to be the root topic. So as I told you already, if you have a sound knowledge and strictly clear with the basics and percentage, definitely we can able to sort out all sort of topics very easily, right? So with that, let's quickly jump into the very first question of today's session. Come on. This is my first question. So you have, if x is 80% of y, your question, if x is 80% of y, what percent of x is y? That's your question. Come on. Go for it, guys. You have 4 options, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you are in the live chat, kindly let me know what's going to be the right option for the first one. Come on. Hi, very good evening, Kritika. Welcome to the live chat. So, come on. This is the question for you. They say if x is 80% of y, then what percent of x is y? That's your question. So what we can do, here we are completely unaware of the uncertain about the values of x and y. If you see here, I'm not very sure about the value of x and value of y, right? But the only relation what I know here is I know that x is 80% of y. So if that is the case, if at all, if I go for an assumption, let's say if I take y to be 100, let's assume that y is equal to 100. If y is equal to 100, then the value of x will be what? X is actually 80% of 100. 80% of 100 is nothing but 80. Right? All good. So x is 80, y is 100. The values we got somehow. Now, if they ask you what percent of x is y, the question here is merely what percent of 80 is 100. This is your question, right? So if at all, if you want to find what percent of 80 is 100, you need to simply do what? You need to simply do 100 out of 80 into, that's, so if they ask you what percent of 80 is 100, it's going to be 100 out of 80 into 100. That's it. So if you try to do this, guys, so what exactly you'll be getting here? You'll be getting the answer to be 125. So the first question, the answer is option 1. 125% is actually, x is, y is 125% of x. That's what it means, right? They're asking you what percent of x is y. So y is 125% of x, right? That's it. Good. It's going to be option 1. Let's quickly go for the next question, guys. Come on. The second one. The number of apples with B is 20% more than the number of apples with A. By what percentage should the number of apples with B reduce so that the number of apples with A and B are equal? That's your question. Yep. Come what they exactly say here. Here also I'm completely not very sure about the number of apples with A and B, but I know the fact that the number of apples with B is 20% more than the number of apples with A. So if at all, if I try to assume here as well, let me take the number of apples to be A, in A to be 100. So if at all, if I take the number of apples to be with A is 100, right? So let's say if A, it is 100. If A have 100 apples, and if I try to increase 20% more, I'll be getting the number of apples with B. So how much B will be then? It's going to be 120. Simple. So initially you have 100 apples with A and 120 apples with B. Now they are asking you, by what percentage should the number of apples with B, that is 120 apples, it should reduce so that this 120, the number of apples with A and B are equal, so that this 120, the number of apples with B, you have 120, how much percentage it should reduce so that this 120 comes back to 100. That's it. If it comes back to 100, then ultimately the number of apples with A and B are equal. Right? So both A and B have 100 here. Fine. So if that is the case, what I can simply do? Let me give you a smart trick, guys. Let me tell you how to do this. Let's say, for example, let me try to give you an example, right? So let's say I have 100 rupees. And if at all, if I try to increase 50%, and if I give to my friend will be receiving 150 rupees. Now what my friend does, he have this 150 rupees, he keeps 50 rupees with him, and he returns me back 100 rupees. If that is the case, then if at all, if I ask you, what is the percentage decrease here? Some of the people will be having one brilliant answer to be 50% decrease, but that's not the case here. What they logically think, 50 rupees goes out, it increases, again 50 rupees decreases and comes back to the normal 100 again. But that's not the case here. If your, let's say if this is your initial value and if this is your final value, if your final value comes back to the initial value, then 50% I can write this as 1 by 2 in fraction. If this is 1 by n, initially it is increasing, then this is going to be 1 by n plus 1. So if it is 1 by 2, here it's going to be 1 by 2 plus 1, 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 is nothing but 33.33% decrease. So in the second transaction, when 150 comes back to 100, it's going to be 33.33% decrease. That's it. Okay, simple as that. So like in the same way, if you see here, you have this to be the final value and if you have this to be the initial value. If your final value comes back to the initial value, 20% I can write this as 1 by 5 in fraction. If initially it is increasing, then it's going to be 1 by 5 plus 1, 1 by 6. See, if initially it is increasing, means it's going to be 1 by n plus 1. If initially it is decreasing, then it is 1 by n minus 1. That's what it is. So 1 by 6 is nothing but 16.67% decrease. So the answer for this question is option 2. Now the number of apples, it should reduce by 16.67% so that the number of apples with A and B are ultimately equal. That's it. Okay, is that clear, guys? I hope it is clear for you. So, this concept is really important. We need to remember this thing, right? So we'll go for the second question. You have Maruti, which has sold 60% more cars than the number of cars sold by Toyota, right? By how much percent is the number of cars sold by a Toyota less than Maruti? That's your question. Thank you. So try to do this third question, guys. Just let me know what's going to be the right option for this. So you have Maruti, which has sold 60% more cars than that of Toyota. So what I can do, simply here also I'm not very sure about the number of cars sold by Maruti and Toyota. So let me assume Toyota has sold 100 cars. So if Toyota has sold 100 cars, then I can damn sure say that Maruti has sold 60 cars more than that of Toyota. So it's going to be 160 for Maruti, right? Fine. So if we go for the question, by how much percent is the number of cars sold by Toyota? This is 100 less than Maruti. First, try to take the difference over here. Toyota is 60 cars less than Maruti. So take 60 in the numerator divided by what should be in the denominator you need to put? The term which comes after than. The car which comes after than. Which one it is? Maruti. So here than is the keyword. The one which comes after that, you need to put it in the denominator. So the number of cars sold by Maruti, it is 160. And you want to find the percentage, right? They are asking you how much percent. So simply multiply into 100. That's it. So if you try to do so, you'll be getting 3 by 8. 3 by 8 is nothing but 37.5%. So simple. It is nothing but, the number of cars sold by Toyota less than Maruti is 37.5%. Right? That's your question. Right? We'll go for the next question. The fourth one. A number when increased by 42.84% gives 40. What is the number? That's your question. Come on, guys. Try and do this. So that is, you have a number. So let me take A to be the number. Let A be that number, right? So what I simply do, a number when increased by 42.84. First of all, I just want to break this out. 42.84%, I can write this as 14. 14.28% into 3. Fine. So what is this respective 14.28%? 14.28% is nothing but what? As you know already, it's going to be 1 by 7. So 1 by 7 into 3, it is nothing but 3 by 7. Right? For those of you who just want to quickly recall the values of respective percentage into its fractions, I just want to pitch up here. Listen very carefully. I can say that 1 by 2 is 50%. 1 by 3, if I want to write it in percentages, can be written as 33.33. 1 by 4, it is 25%. 1 by 5, it is 20. 1 by 6, it is 16.67. 1 by 7, it is 14.28. 1 by 8, it is 12.5%. 1 by 9, it's going to be 11.11. Right, like in this way, you need to remember at least 1 by 20. If not 1 by 20, you need to remember till 1 by 15 as well. So 1 by 11, it's going to be 9.09. 1 by 12, it is 8.33. 1 by 13, it's going to be 7.69. 1 by 14, it's going to be 7.14. And ultimately 1 by 15, it is 6.67, right? So guys, listen carefully. As we know already, the respective percentages for the fractions, 42.84% can be written as I told you already, 14.28% into 3. So this will give you exactly 3 by 7. So I took the number to be x, right? When a number, when increased by, so x plus 3 by 7 of x, this gives me 40. That's it. Now if you try to solve this up, 7x plus 3x will give you 10x is equal to 40 into 7 will give you 280. So ultimately the value of x, the number is 28. That's it. So the answer for this question is option 2. 28 is actually the number which when increased by 42.84%, it gives you 40. That's it. Right? Fine, so next question. In a team activity, A completed 45% of the task, B completed 1/11th of the remaining, while C completed the remaining. Fine. What is the ratio of the difference of the number of tasks between C and B and A and B? That's your question. Come on guys, let's try to do this. Hey, very good evening, Priyanka. Welcome to the session. So you have a team in which A completed 45%. So here if you see, you're completely uncertain about the number of tasks, total number of tasks. So if at all, if I try to assume the total task to be 100, then I can say that A has completed 45 tasks. When it comes to B, it has completed 1/11th of the remaining. So first of all, out of 100, if 45 goes out, the remaining will be 55. So B has completed 1/11th of the 55. So it's going to be 5. B has completed 5 tasks. And they say that C completed the remaining. So out of 55, 5 goes out, the remaining will be the number of tasks completed by A, B, and C. It's going to be 45, 5, and 50, right? So you need to find the ratio of the difference of the number of tasks between C and B. So what is the difference between C and B? You need to find C and B. The difference is to A and B. That's C minus B will give you 45 is to A minus B will give you 40. So try to simplify this, you'll be getting the ratio to be option 4. 9:8 is exactly the 9 parts, right? So you have the ratio to be 9:8. And the next question for you. A bag contains 600 coins of 25 paise denomination and 1200 coins of 50 paise denomination. If 12% of 25 paise coins and 24% of 50 paise coins are removed, the percentage of money removed from the bag is nearly what? That's a question. So guys, let's try to solve this. You have a bag which contains 600 coins of 25 paise. So let me just break this out and bring it in a money format. Okay, if I try to add money value to it, you have 600 coins of 25 paise. So 25 paise is nothing but 0.25. So that's going to be 150 rupees, right? And you have 1200 coins of 50 paise. So this is going to be 600. So totally how much money you have? 750, right? You have the total money to be 750. And you know the fact that 12% of 25 paise. First, let's try to break this out. 12% of 600. How many coins here? 10% is 60, 1% is 6, so it's going to be 72. 72 coins of 25 paise. How much will it amount to? It's going to be 18 rupees money value. And 24% of, so 24% of 1200. How many coins? See, this is coins, and this is the respective value to it, and this is the number of rupees, right? How much rupees is it? So 24% of 1200. 10% is 120, 20% is 240. So 240 plus 4% is nothing but 48, so we'll be getting 288. So 288, 50 paise coins you have. So the money value is going to be 140. So what is the total money which has been removed here? The total money removed here is 162. They're asking you the percentage of money removed from the bag. So out of 750 rupees, 162 rupees is being removed. So try to find the fraction. Percent out of it. That's it. Come on guys, what exactly will be the percentage here then? So we're getting exactly 21.6%. So the answer it is ultimately option 1. 21.6% of the money is being removed from the bag here, right? So what I did here, this is the number of coins, right? Let me write it here, the number of coins. And I added money value. And this is the total amount. Right, fine. So if I try to remove 162 from 750, and if at all, if I want to find how much percent is being removed, then simply do 160 by 750 into 100. That's it. So we'll be getting the exact amount, that is 21.5% is being removed. All good, right? Next question for you, come on. So you have Pravesh has taken 7 exams in a semester with each subject carrying equal weightage. So what does it mean? If they say each subject carries equal weightage, the maximum mark per subject for all the subjects is the same, right? Let's say for example, for subject A you have 100 as a maximum mark. Then for subject B also the maximum mark is 100. For subject C also the maximum mark is 100. That's what it means, right? So Pravesh has scored marks in the ratio, the respective ratios for the 7 exams in the semester is being given. Fine. So if I simply take the ratios here, let me take, if it is 5 for the subject 1, it is be subject 1, 2, listen carefully. The first ratio, if it is 5, it's going to be the multiple of 5. The mark which he has scored for the subject 1, it's going to be the multiple of 5. So let me take it as 50. Let me try to multiply 10 for all the ratios. So the mark which is scored for subject 2, it's going to be 30. For subject 3, it's going to be 70. For subject 4, it is 90. subject 5 it is 60, 6 it is 70, and for subject 7 it is 50. So let us find the total marks which he has scored. Fine, so if you try to add this up, guys, how much exactly will you be getting? So it's going to be 120, 180, 270, 340 and 420. So 420 is the total marks which Pravesh has scored in all the 7 subjects. Right? They have simply said if he scored 60% of the total marks, which means what here? It is very clearly said this 420 which he has scored, the total mark is nothing but 60%. 60% of the total mark is 420. If at all, if I want to find what will be the 100% of the total mark will be what then? The total mark will be ultimately, if 60% is 420, then 100% will be what then? 700. So guys, listen carefully. I have got the total maximum mark. Right? The total maximum mark for all the for the for the 7 subjects, it's going to be 700. So I can damn sure say that now the maximum mark per subject it is nothing but what? 700 by 7 you do, it's going to be 100. So 100 is actually the maximum mark per subject. Now what is the question they are asking you? Then in how many subjects did she score over 70% marks? So these are the authentic marks, exact marks scored by Pravesh in all the 7 subjects. And I know the fact that the maximum mark per subject is 100. And if at all, if I want to find in how many subjects he scored more than 70%, right? The word over 70% is important, which means 70% also we should not take into account. You need to see the subjects which he has taken more than 70. So if that is the case, then only one subject, that is in subject 4, Pravesh has taken a mark 90, which is more than 70%. That is 90%, right? So the answer, it's going to be option 4. It is in only one subject he has scored over 70% of the marks. That's right. Is that clear, guys? Right. We'll go for the next question quickly. Here the cost of the car, it depreciates by 15% every year, which means every year the cost or the value of the car, it depreciates by 15%. What is the value of the car after 2 years if the current cost is 30,000? What you can do exactly here is it, if the present value or the current cost, if it is 30,000, you should not simply take 50% of 30,000 and try to subtract that from 30,000. You should not go for a simple interest oriented calculation. If the car depreciates, there is one beautiful term called appreciation and depreciation. In a commerce term, if you try to see that, depreciation is nothing but sort of like a compound interest, which means if at all, if I try to find what is 15% out of 30,000, 10% is 3,000 and 5% is 1,500, so it's going to be 4,500. And at the end of first year, the cost, first year, the value will be 30,000. From this, if you try to subtract 4,500. It's going to give you 25,500. Fine. So this is actually the current cost of the car, at the end of first year. Now you need to take what is 15% from this. Fine. So if you try to take what is 15% from this, what exactly will be that value? So you'll be getting 3,825. So this amount gets reduced. So at the end of second year, it's going to be 25,500 minus 3,825. So this is going to give you 21,670. That is option 2. 21,675 is the cost of the car after 2 years. Right? So, as I told you already, you need to apply the concept of depreciation, which is depreciation. It is directly, which means concept of compound interest. That's simple as that. Okay. Next question for you. Come on. Fine. So, ninth question, if you see, you have fresh grapes that contain 80% water by weight, while dry grapes, it contains 20% water by weight. So, if that is the case, you have a fresh grape and you have a dry grape. You know the fact that fresh grape contains 80% water by weight. If that is the case, if 80% is water, then it is simple fact that the rest of 20% of the fresh grapes will be grapes. Like in the same way, if you go for dry grapes, it contains 20% water. 20% is water, then the rest of 80% will be grapes. That's it. Okay, nothing to complicate here. Now the question is, what is the weight of dry grapes that can be obtained from 20 kgs of fresh grapes? Okay, so listen carefully. First of all, let me try to decode. In 20 kgs of fresh grapes, I'll be getting exactly, in 20 kgs, 80% will be water. That is 16 kgs will be water. 16 kgs is water, then the rest of 4 kg will be grapes. Fine. So, it is very clear that they are simply asking you, from this 20 kgs of fresh grapes, how many kgs of dry grapes can I can able to extract? That's the thing. So, if I say 4 kgs of grapes in dry, fresh grapes, if this is 80% of the grapes in dry grapes, if 4 kg is 80% in dry grapes, then what will be 100%? What will be 100% dry grapes then? It's going to be 80% is 4 kg, 100% will be 5 kg. That's it. So it is simply understood that from 20 kgs of fresh grapes, you can able to extract 5 kgs of dry grapes. That's it. Simple as that. So answer it is undoubtedly option. Right? Very simple. Nothing to complicate here. What is that lead which you're going to take up here? If this 4 kgs of grapes and fresh grapes, if this is 80% of the grapes and dry grapes, then the rest of 20% will be 1 kg. So 4 plus 1 will exactly give you 5 kgs of dry grapes, which can be extracted from 20 kgs of fresh grapes. That's it. Okay. Simple one, guys. Nothing to complicate. Next question for you. Everything is the same, but the data has been slightly changed. Come on, go for it. That is, you have a fresh grapes which contain 80% water by weight. So here it has been slightly changed. You have a fresh grape again which contains 80% water. 80% is water, then the rest of 20% will be grapes, right? Like in the same way, if you go for dry grapes contain 25% water. If 25% is water, then the rest of 75% will be grapes, right? Now here the question is, update the ulta. What is the weight of fresh grapes that can be obtained or extracted from 20 kgs of dry grapes? So you have some 20 kgs of dry grapes, guys. From this, first of all, if I try to find how many kgs is water and how many kgs is grapes. In 20 kg, 25% is water. So if that is the case, it's understood that 5 kg is water and the rest of 15 kg have grapes. So what I do simply, can I say if 15 kgs of grapes in dry grapes, if it is 20% of grapes in fresh grapes, means that is nothing but if 20% is 15 kgs, then what's gonna be my 80%? 80% will be 60 kg. So ultimately 80 plus 20 will be 100% of the fresh grapes. If you see, it's going to be 60 plus 15, 75 kg. That's it. So if 15 kgs of grapes and dry grapes is 20% of grapes and fresh grapes, then if 20% is 15 kg means 100% it's going to be 75 kg. So the answer it is option 2, 75. So it is nothing but from 20 kgs of dry grapes, you can able to extract 75 kgs of fresh grapes. That's it. That's what it means exactly. Right? Let's go for the next one then. An easy question again. So you have a fruit vendor who has 40 fruits on his carts, right? 30% of which are apples. So listen carefully. Initially you have 40 fruits, out of which 30%. So 30% is nothing but 12 fruits or apples. This is the number of fruits. What happens if the fruit vendor he receives a new shipment of 80 fruits? So already you have 40 fruits. Along with that, a new shipment of 80 fruits happens, out of which 40% of which are not apples. So it is very clear that if 40% are not apples means, then the rest of 60% will be apples. So here it is 30%. So here it is 60%. So 60% is nothing but 60% of 80 is 48. So the total number of apples which you have here is 60 and the total number of fruits which you have is 120. Now what is the question ultimately here? what percent of the total number of fruits are apples? How many apples you have out of total number of fruits? 60 apples. So 60 out of 120 into 100. This will simply give you option 4, 50%. So that is very clear that 50% of the total number of fruits are apples. Right? Very easy question, nothing to complicate here. Next question. Come on. So you have a small pool filled only with water that will require an additional 300 gallons of water in order to be filled to 80% of its capacity. And so if pumping in these 300 gallons of water will increase the amount of pool in the, will increase the amount of water in the pool by 30%. What is the total capacity of the pool in gallons? Fine, so listen carefully. Let me try to do this for you. You have a swimming pool in which initially you have some water. You're not exactly sure about the quantity of the water, how much you have here, right? But I know the fact that the pool is already filled with some water. But I'm damn sure that it will require an additional 300 gallons of water. So simply if I pump in this 300 gallons of water into the pool, additionally 300 gallons of water, that will increase the amount of water in the pool by 30%. So it is damn clear that if at all, if I have the water initially in the pool before pumping in this 300 gallons of water, if it is to be 1000 gallons only, then if I can able to pump in 300 gallons of water, this is nothing but the 30%. Did you get my point, guys? Listen very carefully. You have the water in the pool additionally you're pumping in 300 gallons of water. If you pump in 300 gallons of water additionally, that will increase the amount of water in the pool by 30%. Means initially it should be 1000 gallons of water. What is 30% of 1000 then? It's going to be 300. So I'm coming in a reverse way. That is, initially if it is only 1000 gallons, no? Then if I pump in 300 gallons of water, that's going to be my 30%. Right? Fine. So can I say now the quantity of water which I have in the pool, it is 1000 plus 300. So it's going to be 1300 gallons. What is clearly stated in the first statement, a small pool filled only with water will require an additional 300 gallons of water in order to be filled 80% of its capacity. So can I say this 1300 is actually the 80% of its capacity, total capacity? Right? Not clear about it. Let me write it as total capacity. Right? So this 1300 is nothing but 80% of the total capacity. Then what's going to be my total capacity then? What's going to be my 100% total capacity? And the total capacity of the pool is going to be 1625 gallons. So what you simply do, you want to find the total capacity, simply do 1300 into 100 by. If you try to do so, you'll be getting 1625 gallons. That's it. Is that clear, guys? Kindly give me a thumbs up if you're clear with this. Yes. So we'll go for the next one. You have the next question where A scored 25% marks in an exam and failed by 20 marks. So let me take the total mark, right? Let me take the total that is the maximum mark. Let me take that as M, and the pass mark, let me take it as B. Okay, I know the fact that when it comes to A has scored 25% of the marks in an exam. So A has scored 25% of the maximum mark and failed by 20 marks, means that will be equal to pass mark minus 20. So from pass mark, if you try to reduce 20 marks, then I can say that he is failed by 20 marks. Let me take this as equation 1. Like in the same way, if you go for B, the case with B has scored 40% marks in an exam. So B has scored 40% of the maximum mark and scored 4 marks more than the pass mark. That's going to be equal to P plus 4. Take this as 2. So from the listen carefully, can I say pass mark P is equal to 25% is nothing but what? 1 by 4. So M by 4 plus 20. And like in this way, here also pass mark P is equal to 20% is nothing but 2 by 5. So 2 M by 5 minus 4. The pass mark for both A and B are ultimately same. So let me try to equate the right hand side, that is M by 4 plus 20 will be equal to 2 by 5 M minus 4. Such that you'll be getting exactly 24 is equal to 2 by 5M minus M by 4. So the LCM is 20. So 20 means it's going to be 480 is equal to 8M minus 5M is going to be 3M. So if 3M is 480, then the maximum mark is absolutely. So I've got the total maximum mark to be 160 per subject. If maximum mark is given, then let me quickly find what's going to be my pass mark. So pass mark, if you try to substitute it here, so it's going to be 2 by 5 of 160 minus 4. So if at all, if you try to do this, goes exactly 5 3s are 15, 32. So 64 minus 4 you do, will be getting 60. So the pass mark is ultimately 60. What is the question here? What percent of the total mark is the pass mark? So it's going to be nothing but what? Pass mark 60 by 160 into 100. That's it. So if you try to do so, you'll be getting 3 by 8. 3 by 8 in percentage is nothing but 37.5%. So the answer it is absolutely option 3. 37.5% is the exact percent of pass mark from the total. That's it. Okay. Simple. Nothing to complicate here, guys. Right. So we'll quickly wind up the session now, and within some 1 hour and a time, let's try to get on with the percentage lesson 2 for you guys. Let's try to solve in the session 2 as well. Okay, the session will be continued in the meantime, right? Stay tuned.